my favorite things about the hockey beat is that about once a month or so, I'll find a way to spend some extra time with Mike Sullivan, catch up on hockey stuff, just talk hockey stuff. It might not even necessarily be current or even relevant. It could be something in the distant past, but it's fun. And I had a fun talk like that with the man the other night. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Penguins. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Pirates that I hope you'll additionally check out. Penguins versus Red Wings tomorrow night in Detroit. I'll be driving up to cover that. But what I referenced there in the open was earlier this week, and I'm not going to get into obviously what he said because it was just a conversation, but I'm obviously free to say what I said. I brought up his remarks after the Penguins began practicing the power play Monday about wanting to emphasize the quickness or quick strike component to what they're doing because I really liked it and told him so. I thought that was a smart way to enter camp scenario in which you don't want to just say, all right, guys, I'm David Quinn. I'm the new power play coach, and here's how it's going to be. And you bring them over to the dry erase board and you start mapping out all kinds of X's and O's, showing them all kinds of videos. No. First thing you got to do, is plant the seed for a broader mindset. And the best way to do that, I think, was to go back over their entire body of work, horrifying as that had to be, and see if there's one that you could grasp on for a general concept. And identifying the quick strike component about just playing hockey as opposed to overthinking everything, overpassing everything, and then really carrying yourself differently with the man advantage than you do whenever you're at even strength. Now, to an extent, you have to, but it shouldn't be visible in your body language. It shouldn't be such, and man, we saw this a billion times last season, where even the opponents get kind of bored watching you. Even they start standing a little upright like, are you going to do anything here? I mean, we feel like we're stealing paychecks here. Maybe just shoot the puck once or something. So that urgency to get the puck, get possession, go ahead and set up and do all that other power play type stuff. But try to think of a way to create a goal with the same mindset that you do at even strength. What would you do at even strength if you came open for a shot from the right point? What would you do? Would you look around a little bit? Would you go low to Sid for no reason? Would you go across to Gino for no reason? Would you play catch with the bumper or drifter for no reason? No, you wouldn't do any of those things. You'd raise your stick like Al McInnes style and let the thing fly. And you'd do that because also at even strength, you'd have one and ideally two of your teammates waiting for you to do that near the front of the net. And that unto itself almost certainly will constitute a higher quality scoring chance than anything that you'll concoct by trying to put on some clinic. It doesn't all have to be microsurgery. It doesn't all have to involve 3 or 4 passes that dissect the box. This episode is brought to you by Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports needs this season, from Major League Baseball, golf, NHL, NBA playoffs. Get the latest odds and lines, including all team matchups, player props, odds on just about everything that's out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Just like regular old hockey, it's still about the quantity of your scoring chances and the quality of them. And I'm purposely putting quantity first. Because the less time you waste with all that other crap, the more of those types of chances you get, as opposed to 30 to 35 seconds of absolutely nothing followed by whatever. A shot that gets blocked, a shot that misses and comes around the boards. Okay, those are fine. Get more of them. And they don't feel so damaging. Now, again, I'm not going to share anything on his end, but I really don't have to since, he was the one that brought it up, and he did so in a press conference style setting. He's not looking to reinvent the power play. He's not looking for Quinn to reinvent the power play. There are things that they're going to put into place. Obviously, there are things they'll have to do from opponent to an extent to adjust. Some opposing penalty kills are really aggressive. Think about teams like the Flyers, for example. There are other teams that just pack it in. They sit in the box and they act like there's 5 goalies. There won't be a one-size-fits-all. But this other thing, man, that's got to be across the board. Quit wasting everybody's time, especially your own. When we come back, J1Q. J1Q comes from JC, who says, "Good Friday morning, DK. I know you're probably asked this a lot, but I can't recall you ever answering this publicly, or maybe I missed it, about adding a depth winger who can put the puck in the net and pound hot dogs after the game. Oh, no. So why not bring back Amanda Kessel's brother? He's willing to sign a PTO if the fit is right. Is it right? Seems like a low-risk, high-reward kind of thing." I appreciate the question, JC, as well as some other kind words that you added here. They're not bringing back Phil. They're just not. There's not going to be a fit with really any team in the NHL, I believe, when considering the baggage that's there. Now, nobody wants to hear this because I get it. Phil was here at the height of his powers, at the height of his popularity, and Pittsburgh fell for him head over freaking heels, and not without cause. This is a dude that's naturally funny. He can just stand there, keep a straight face, and be naturally funny. It's a gift. So what everybody saw and what got built up on social media was Phil is this and Phil is that and Phil for president and, like you, something hot dogs. But that's also when Phil and his line mates, Nick Bonino and Carl Hagelin, of course, formed the HBK line that was the matchup imbalance against most opponents in the playoffs, because they came with 2 and the Penguins had 3 and nobody had an answer for 3. And I dare say that anyone who's thinking along these lines should remind themselves that the real reason that Phil was beloved, the root reason, is he scored goals. He scored big goals. Something, of course, that he could never do in Toronto, since Toronto didn't play in big games and still hasn't played in big games in our lifetime. But Phil came here and did that, and the fandom responded almost as if they had made this happen, or they had at least significantly contributed to it, because everybody in Toronto who thinks they know everything about hockey, they were all dead wrong about Phil, and all of us smart fans here in Pittsburgh, we've always been the ones to embrace real skill. So there was this great symbiosis, and it's just not the same in other settings. Phil drove his coaches nuts. He drove them nuts when he was on the ice, really drove them nuts when he was off the ice. And the same was true of staffers, both directly inside the locker room and just outside it. And I can promise you that if I went to any one of those people in the Penguins' employ, all the way up to Sullivan as head coach, who were there when Phil was there, not one of them would want him back. Oh, and also, I don't mean to make this parenthetical, but he's not the same player. He wasn't the same player last season. There's a reason he was a regular, healthy scratch. So, no, I could have just said no and left it at that, but this was a long, multi-layered no. I nonetheless appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Penguins. We'll have another one Monday.